What's up everybody, D-Man back. Welcome to a brand new video, and today we're going to be doing another Godzilla vs. Kong news roundup. In today's video, we are going to be covering all the Godzilla news from July 2021. Well, all the Godzilla vs. Kong news. Starting out, it seems we have discovered an extended clip of Behemoth. Now, I could have sworn this thing came out like forever ago, but I guess people are claiming that it was released here in July, or they discovered it here. I'm assuming it's from a VFX reel. That's typically where a lot of this footage comes from, but it's just an extended clip of Behemoth's attack on the city from Godzilla King of the Monsters. It's always cool to see that stuff. There's a new wave of Godzilla vs. Kong t-shirts that came out. This wave featured Godzilla, Kong, and Mechagodzilla with quotes, and to be honest, I only think the Kong shirt is kind of decent. It's the only quote that I think is kind of cool on a shirt. Godzilla will come for him, and that's Mechagodzilla. Not really the coolest of shirts, I don't think. Bandai Godzilla HGD Plus Waves 6 and 7s were revealed, featuring Godzilla vs. Kong characters and other Godzilla classic characters. The Godzilla vs. Kong ones are pretty cool. I particularly like the Kong with the axe and the fire, and the skull crawler with the explosions going off behind him, but Godzilla and Mechagodzilla both look cool as well. The classic line features Godzilla Ultima, which is friggin' awesome. I believe this is, what is that, like, I don't know, super speedy Mothra or something? It's one of the Mothra variants from the Rebirth movies. Mechagodzilla 93, and of course, Jet Jaguar with the spear, looking quite awesome. In addition, a whole bunch of Japanese exclusive items were revealed for Godzilla vs. Kong. These were made for the premiere of Godzilla vs. Kong in Japan. While there is a bunch of stuff in here, I particularly like the Showdown poster. I really like that hand fan. I think that's really cool. The little figures are awesome. I think those are like aprons or something down at the bottom, and also like, I don't know what that whole Ultimate Titan thing is, but that's also pretty cool. Oh, and then my favorite of these items is the Godzilla vs. Kong tie. I would love that Godzilla vs. Kong tie. That thing is sick. Godzilla vs. Kong had some Sega prize items. These are not prizes given out, but they are just, that's what they're called. These Sega prize items included Godzilla and Kong minifigures that both look quite awesome. The Kong looks great to me. I really like the Godzilla's tail as well. I think that tail's got a great pose. Some little tiny plushies for Godzilla, Kong, and Mechagodzilla, a big plushie for Godzilla, a big plushie for Kong, and then a big plushie for Mechagodzilla. Playmates revealed a new Antarctic Kong. This is actually one of my favorite Playmates figures. I think they did a great job with it. I love it. Overall, I think it's pretty great, even though I don't think the figure really needs to exist, but sure, I mean, they did a good job with it. Godzilla Battle Line's Godzilla 2021 design was revealed. It's a really cute, chibi looking Godzilla 2021. I quite like it. There was a German steelbook for Godzilla vs. Kong that was revealed. I wonder if it released. I'm so bitter about that one that I never got. I ordered it and it just never came. I mean, I got refunded, but sad moment. Now, normally I don't show off concept art, but this was a really light news month, so I wanted to show this one off. A concept art was revealed of Kong saving Godzilla from Mechagodzilla, and it gives us an alternate look at the fight that would have been much more dark and gritty. And while I like the movie, I also like the visuals of this, much more apocalyptic, much darker, more serious looking aesthetic. This concept art was done by Monster Mash 42. A Godzilla vs. Kong featurette was released in Japan. This is almost 30 minutes, and while most of it is in Japanese, I genuinely recommend watching it. I'm gonna run you through the details that I got to see and learn from it as a non-Japanese speaking person, but if you want to go watch it for yourself, I've got a link down below, and I think it's a good watch. There is some deleted scenes that are revealed in it, so that's what I'll be talking about as I go through it, but if you want to watch it all for yourself and experience it properly, go check it out. It's pretty cool. We get a lot of footage of Godzilla vs. Kong without color correction, including a much bluer look at the sea battle and a washed out version of Kong on the ship with Gia where it's all gray and sad. That is just not as pretty without the blue. I actually saw Godzilla vs. Kong in a broken theater once. The projector was broken, and the movie was like super blue, and a lot of the footage looked like this uncolor corrected footage. It was really strange. The bluer scenes were even more blue, so that Kong on the ship thing, it wasn't like I saw the movie without color correction. It was like the projector was broken, so all of the browns and oranges were shifted blue. It was quite weird. Some of it I actually kind of liked. I actually like the boat battle being a little more blue. I think it looks a little better. We see a bunch of exciting B-roll from Godzilla vs. Kong events, including Godzilla vs. Kong being promoted in Japan, the opening of Godzilla vs. Kong at the TCL Chinese Theater, Godzilla vs. Kong being displayed on the Burj Khalifa, which I kind of remember them doing, but I don't totally remember them doing it for Godzilla vs. Kong. I remember specifically them doing it for King of the Monsters. And then, of course, the Godzilla vs. Kong fan premiere at the drive-in. Come on, Legendary, release all the B-roll. Just let us have it. It looks awesome. Wingard says that the ocean battle was decided upon very early on because they wanted to do something they had never seen before. They had never seen Godzilla and Kong fight in the ocean before, but they had seen them fight in, well, he claims they had seen them fight in cities and in the forest. King Kong versus Godzilla don't really fight in the city. They fight next to a couple buildings, but either way, I agree. We have never seen them fight in the ocean before. It is quite unique, and that's what he wanted. He wanted something unique so that he could put his stamp on this film and this battle, giving us something that's rare and not very often seen in a kaiju movie. And sure, totally, the fight on the ocean is something that we don't see a lot of in kaiju films, so they did a good job with that. We get to meet the voice cast for the Japanese dub of Godzilla vs. Kong and find out that all of the boys are on Team Godzilla while all of the girls are on Team Kong. If you can watch Godzilla vs. Kong's Japanese dub, I highly recommend it. While I haven't seen that version in particular, I have watched Godzilla King of the Monsters Japanese dub. Pretty cool that Ken Watanabe voices his own character, Ishiro Serizawa. He does the Japanese dub for him. But overall, I found it to be a very strange experience. It made the movie feel a little more like a Godzilla movie, seeing it in Japanese, and also it's just kind of strange to watch the movie in a dubbed language. It must be how a lot of Japanese people feel watching American Godzilla movies English dubbed. I don't know why they would, but maybe they do. Also, I think it's hilarious that the actor they get to play Josh is an old man. That is super funny to me. They also cover Man with Emissions Into the Deep, which was a J-pop song written for Godzilla vs. Kong. Super weird music video, just a bunch of guys in wolf masks dancing around singing while Godzilla vs. Kong plays in the background. I don't know. It's a decent enough song. I don't know if it was used in the end credits for the movie. I remember they did something like this with Godzilla King of the Monsters, but when I watched the Japanese version, I never heard the song play in the end credits, so I don't know if it was just a tie-in to the movie or what, but it's strange nonetheless. This featurette really emphasizes Ren Serizawa's relationship with Dr. Serizawa, as the featurette seems to be a documentary about Shun Ogori as he travels to America to film Godzilla vs. Kong. In this little documentary, we get to see him go to the Golden Coast in Australia in March 2019, where they begin filming. It's crazy to think that they've been filming for that long. Shun meets with wardrobe where he gets fitted for his costume, and in the background we can see costumes for the Monarch Hollow Earth Expedition, Gia, Lind, Andrews, and Maya, and we also get to see some Apex costumes as well. The whole cast for Godzilla vs. Kong has photos on a wall revealed by this production designer, and we get to see that Xia Zhang was officially a part of the cast at one point. We knew that, but it's just weird to see an official capacity acknowledging that she was supposed to be in this film. Next to her, I believe, is an old headshot that I think I tracked down of Jessica Henwick, who was reportedly also in this movie but cut. Both of these characters were cut from the film as the first 30 minutes of the film went under massive revisions, so these characters were both lost due to that. Really sad. I really wish both of them could have been in it, and if I'm not mistaken, I think we'll cover in a later video that Isa Gonzalez says that her role was significantly changed as well, as she related much more to these two characters, and so once they left, her character became much smaller. There is a cast member blurred out for unknown reasons. I really wonder who that is. Just ignore the setup, okay? The old set got torn down in a ruthless move that was not made by me. So we're here in a new set, all right? And it's just being set up, so it's just ignore. Look, I just wanted to quickly interject and say I think that second picture might also be Xia Zhang, because of course she plays two different characters, Dr. Chen and Dr. Ling. I think for some reason they've blurred out the Dr. Ling photo. I'm not sure why, but if you compare the two headshots, they look to be the exact same headshot. So I just wanted to quickly interject and add that point, and now continue the video. Bye. Both mean girls do make an appearance. The continued propaganda that there were two mean girls in Godzilla vs. Kong, we all know it. I cracked the code years ago, guys. The second mean girl was Madison Russell. The movie was a remake of Godzilla's Revenge and nobody wants to admit it, but I figured it out. I cracked the case. I got it. Okay. The two mean girls in the movie is clearly Maya and Madison Russell. I figured it out. Shun meets with an English voice coach to practice his lines, and in this we get to see some dialogue from a deleted bar sequence from Godzilla vs. Kong.
My name is Ren Serizawa. You knew my father.
You're his... No. Dr. Serizawa's son? Shit.
If I could do something to get my father back, I... with him gone, we need another.
We'll talk a little bit more about that bar sequence when we get to the deleted scenes, but I just wanted to mention that here, that we do get to hear them practicing the lines for it. It kind of makes me sad that Shun clearly doesn't really know English. It seems like he's very out of his element, so I feel really bad that he was so out of his element and then they cut his role so significantly. He really wound up not playing the character that he signed on to play, which is kind of sad. But at the same time, that's how movies go. Movies just do that a lot. I mean, a lot of people don't acknowledge that because it seems that a lot of people don't know how movies are made. But yes, movies change rapidly and constantly. Doesn't surprise me that these changes occurred. I don't know why it surprises Twitter. I guess Twitter doesn't know a thing. But that's not really much of a shock, is it? Can you tell I'm a little bitter? I'm an old bitter guy. Shun goes to hair, where he gets a little bit of input on Ren's sexy haircut. I really like Ren's haircut. Producer Alex Garcia shows up to visit and check in about Ren's hair and advises him not to make Ren's hair so stylish that it seems like the character cares a lot about his appearance, because the character is supposed to be much more driven on Mechagodzilla than he is himself. Good input here. It's crazy to see a producer like Alex Garcia visit a hair check like that. I wouldn't think that high-ranking producers like that would visit something like a hair check, but I mean, there he is, so cool. Shun goes to makeup, where he gets fitted with fake sideburns. That is wild. I don't that's just so weird to me, but I mean, I guess he does, and he seemed pretty excited about it too. It seems the first scene he shot for the movie was the deleted bar sequence where his character originally introduced himself to Nathan Lind, and the last bit of filming he does is on a soundstage where he films the actual introduction for the movie Godzilla vs. Kong, Godzilla's attack on the Apex base. There is some adorable footage of him wrapping filming where Adam Wingard brings him in for a big hug before Damian Bichir shows up and gives him a hug as well. There's also a little bit of footage of Oguri and Bichir seemingly being best buddies on set, which I think is really cute and wholesome. Getting into the deleted scenes that were revealed through this featurette, it's some interesting stuff, and I know you guys really like to hear about deleted scenes, as I do as well. I'm sure in later videos I'll try and cover as much of it as I can, as much of the deleted scenes as I can, but for now this is what we learned. We see a little bit of the extended sequence of people on the Apex dock running around as Godzilla attacks. This was part of an alternate opening for the movie where Madison and Josh go to the pier when Godzilla attacks. Interestingly, I noticed in the background of the ocean, which is in the film as well, behind Apex is a bridge that highly resembles the Golden Gate Bridge but doubled. It's like double the Golden Gate Bridge's length. That does not exist in Pensacola, Florida, so I don't know why they added it there, but it makes for an interesting backdrop nonetheless. There's also footage of the flooding set where Nathan Lind jumps in to try and save Kong. That is in the movie. What isn't in the movie is the thing that happened right behind him. You can see the elevator. This was an elevator used for a cut sequence, mostly cut anyways, of Gia and Andrews being stuck in the elevator as it begins to flood as they go underwater. A couple quick shots show explosions at a Monarch base in the mountains. We have seen a lot of BTS of this actually. This is a sequence from a daytime attack where Godzilla rampaged through a Monarch base in the movie. This was cut from the film and retooled to be used as nighttime footage during Godzilla's attack on Apex, so all of the footage of the Monarch destruction became collateral damage during the Apex destruction. Really cool how they could do that. We also see a decent amount of footage of Ren and Ghidorah's skull. It seems at one point Simmons was even supposed to appear behind Ren as he is reacting to Mechagodzilla's controls, but I really like some of the moody footage of him looking around in this thing. We also see a lot of footage of the bar scene. This is the big thing that was revealed here. The bar scene that was cut featuring Ren Serizawa making an original introduction to Nathan Lind. Of course, the introduction with Simmons and Lind and Serizawa in the movie was a very late edition reshoot. That's why Alexander Skarsgård now has the beard from the Northman. In the original opening, it seems that Ren stumbles upon a drunken Lind at the bar, and that's where they meet for the first time. In this alternate opening, Ren makes a direct connection and mentions that Lind knew his father, Dr. Serizawa. He says that he is Ren, Serizawa's son, and he is here now. Lind is in disbelief, but introduces himself as well. There's a little bit of back and forth that we don't get to hear, but we do hear through earlier footage that Ren says he wishes he could bring his father back. He also says that now that he's gone, I'm assuming he means his father, he states, "We need another." I don't know exactly what this could mean. Maybe he's saying we need another leader of Monarch. Maybe the he in question is not Serizawa, but is in fact Godzilla. Maybe it's a similar line to Mark Russell's line earlier where he says, Godzilla was our last hope for keeping peace with the Titans, and now that he's gone, we don't have any other backups. Maybe it's something like that where Ren's saying, now that Godzilla's gone, now that Godzilla's a bad guy, we don't have, we need another way to keep him in check, that being Kong. So that'll do it for this one, guys. I want to give a huge thank you to my patrons on Patreon. You guys are absolutely the best, truly keeping the channel running. Please consider supporting the Patreon. The link is in the description below. It honestly really does go a very long way towards making sure I can keep making videos. Through the Patreon, you can get access to content early, the Discord community, and more. But that's all for now. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I will see you guys next time for the next one. D-Man out.
Bye.